Hello, chat. Welcome back to another trade recap. Today was a PM session trade. We did not take anything in the AM. It was dead in the water, absolutely dead in the water. This is the price action. What do you? Whoops! What did I just open up? What are you taking? What are you taking? Hmm? 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 Nothing. PM session hit though. Wow. Absolute schmink, dude. Bang. Bang. Come on. $1,000? Wait, hold on, Jack. Hold on. Yes! Mm-hmm. You know about that. Bang! $1,000. Mm-hmm. And that could have been you if you tapped in to the Kick. Link in the bio. I go live every single day on Kick. If you're watching this video, you probably already know that. You can tap in. You can take my trades completely for free. We have a blast over there. Make sure to join. Let me move my camera back. It looks so unnatural down there. Let's get into the trade recap and why this trade worked today. So first of all, as we just talked about, market was buns until we had FOMC. We had news, right? Poopy price action. Terrible, bro. Terrible, terrible. Here's the Wednesday open. Terrible, terrible, terrible. We just basically, day before, we had a great trade and then swept liquidity on both sides of the market. So we're going to go back to equilibrium. We swept sell side, we swept buy side. So obviously, we're going to stay in a range of consolidation. We open up on that range of consolidation. Rejection, failure sweep at the first fair value gap of this original move. And then we just chopped around EQ all day. And then this is the news candle. This is when news came out. Nothing crazy. The results were the exact same. It was nothing surprising. And then we ended up pulling down to a session density right here. You can see those highs and lows right there. We came down to that session density. We did not respect the first fair value gap because there wasn't a first fair value gap. We didn't have an order block in the range yet. So we swept and created an order block. There's your liquidity sweep on the New York PM. And then on the lowest time frame, you can see we started to make fair value gaps. We made our 1 minute and 2 minute and 3 minute fair value gaps in there. You can see them all there. Here's your 1 minute first fair value gap, and here's your 3 minute first fair value gap underneath a previous daily low. So we have our bullish confluence with our base inefficiency reaction. This was full of pointers. We had pointers on every time frame, the 2 minute time frame, the 3 minute time frame. Basically, the first one presented on the 3 minute. I like this a lot. I really like this 3 minute. We had one of the 5 that started down here as well, right here. So what I wanted to see is I wanted to see breaks of structure and inefficiencies form after that, right? If you don't know what a pointer is, it's an efficient break of structure. You can learn about it on my YouTube channel. I like to see these hold, right? I like to see them become my level of stop loss. And perfectly enough, we had this 3 minute right here, which is just a beautiful pointer with the most beautiful high resistant source of liquidity, it being the order block, right? It's like the greatest confluence you could have. And then we had our 2 minute break after that. So after we swept the sell side, we saw a break of structure and the inefficiency development on the next candle on the lower time frame. So we had that 3 minute close, and the 2 minute pushed higher. So for me, what this was is a great confirmation that there was something that we swept out beneath this order block range that was substantial enough to some source of static liquidity, substantial enough to then create dynamic liquidity, being first fair value gaps that we could use to move the upside. That was the concept here, right? Then I got my first fill on the, I believe it was 219, and then I got an additional fill at 227. You can see here's my original fill. This was on the closure of the 2 minute, 3 minute fair value gap, 2 minute, 3 minute pointer, break of structure, move to the upside. We had first fair value gaps from the move up here I was worried about, and the this session density, okay? But we have these first fair value gaps that we have to inverse along the way. That's something that you also want to think about what can screw you, and that's what, I mean, that could screw me. And then when I got the rest of my fill right here, on this candle right here, 224, I did not mean 227, I meant 224. And then it closed perfectly on the 5-2. We maintained the fair value gap and breaks of structure with efficient entries to the upside while also creating fair value gaps on the higher time frame. Beautiful. The pointers were just absolutely presenting themselves today. Now my take profit was just slightly above this New York PM low where the session density was. You saw a huge steep reaction after this. If you take a look at ES, what is this low? Or the take profit was literally just equilibrium. So I had ES pulled up on the other screen. I saw that ES just pulled the equilibrium. So why would I want to hold that down longer than I needed to? Especially because they're going to move very similarly and they're going to move in some amount of consolidated way. And they did, right? EQ range obviously there to help you, but more importantly, I mean, it's actually funny, bro. The way EQ range closed, I took profit directly on EQ range. I will trust EQ range. I'm okay with missing out on a little bit more profit. It ended up running up to our previous daily high. And if you were on stream, I talked about a beautiful long setup that we have setting up over here, and thank God it didn't move there because I was not wanting. I did not want to take another trade today, so I was hoping we got to spare it for another day, and it looks like we do get to keep it for another day because it's a beautiful, beautiful setup we are starting off with over here. Anyways, yeah, so I got my entry on 219 and 224, and then both those were my fills. I got in on those efficient breaks of structure validations of our first fair value gaps to the upside. Um, After this reaction down here, and then I just held, making sure that we inverse the first fair value gaps from the move to the downside that we previously had, and then I held that all the way to our EQ. Obviously, this is this is MNQ, but ES had touched that equilibrium. I was perfectly fine with taking profit on that PM low, which is a range for my session density. And you can see it went all the way to the PDE. You could have held it for that PDE. This is as far as I would be willing to take a trade like this, but I sold right around there. It ended up dipping back down. If you're holding this for a larger implied move, I don't know why you do that. You would still be in the trade because your pointer is all the way down here, right? So you would obviously still be in this trade, and you could have snagged a little bit more. But honestly, it's just not. It's so unpredictable. Once you get and you complete an implied move, it's all a bunch of random noise. There's no exception. There's no argument for that. It's just random noise. The build of liquidity on either side. I mean, you can see during this range of equilibrium, we have swept both sides of the market so many times. Like you can see it happening on both the buy side and sell side. So why would I want to trade during an environment like that? But anyways, yeah, super clean move, and we got to keep the setup for another day. Maybe not tomorrow, but another day, as long as we don't gap up or down like crazy. But yeah, really simple bias, bullish confluence under PDL, first fair value gap confirmation, pointer, efficient break of structure to the upside, targeting volume density, and then obviously you could have completed the implied move at equilibrium, but I was happy with this. I was very much happy with this move. So obviously I'm going to take my profits and walk for the day, boys. That being said, thank you for tuning in to another trade recap. We are going to be live tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. EST. Link in the bio. VOD for this will be in the bio, as well as you can use code TROOP at apextraderfunding.com for 80% off all funded evals. I'm super transparent about it. This is how much money we made so far this month, $60. All that money is going to go right back to you guys, as well as on Kick. If you subscribe to me on Kick, all that money is going right back to you guys. I'm buying evals and giving those evals out. So if you want to use my code and you are in my streams, you will have a chance. We're going to spin a little wheel, and you'll have a chance of winning evals back from this. We probably have more than this. I haven't refreshed it for today. But yeah, use code TROOP, 80% off. Link for that in the bio. Super cheap. It's cheaper than Top Step. But yeah, anyways, boys, appreciate y'all for tuning in to another video. Take care. Bye-bye.